Bismillah ar-Rahman Rahim. Assalamu alaikum. Professor Aisha Humayun here. Today I am discussing grant writing tips in this video. Objective of this video is to understand the basics of grant writing, to explore the importance, need, and impact of grants, and to identify the challenges in grant proposal writing, and to get introduced to components of a winning grant application. What is grant writing? It's the process of preparing and submitting a funding proposal. It identifies a problem and proposes a solution, and it helps to justify the needs for external funding. Why grant matters in academia and research? Because grants enable innovation and exploration. If we get funding, it helps us to address local and global health problems and public health issues, and it helps to facilitate capacity building and it also promotes institutional and personal growth. Now, the types of grants. We can have research grants, training and fellowship grants, travel conference grants, capacity building grants, community outreach grants, and today our focus is on public health grants, research grants. The need for grant writing skills. Because in institutions they don't have research funds, or they have limited institutional funds for research, and there is growing competition for resources, so we have to compete, we have to generate our own funds through grant writing. And it also enhances credibility and academic visibility of the PI, co-PIs, and the research team, and nationally as well as internationally. And it also builds collaborative networks and sustainability. The impact of grant funding. First important thing is the research publication arising from the grant, and there is scientific advancement and institutional development as well. In certain large grants, we can develop our own lab capacity, infrastructure, or computers, or you can say we can buy photocopying machines and other stuff involved in a project. And so in terms of logistics and infrastructure, we can develop our institutions. Then the training and mentorship opportunities are there for the research team, as well as the field team, the monitoring team, supervisory team, and the data collectors. And there is improved community and public health outcomes and empowerment through local solutions. So in research grant, they are offering a lot of benefits. So now the tips for beginners. For beginners, just start from a small project, a seed project, and then definitely you have to follow the guidelines of the funders or the sponsoring agencies. So those guidelines, and they need to be meticulously followed, and you have to be very clear and concise in your write-up, and you need to show the impact, what impact this project will generate, and what is innovative in this project, and how you are going to sustain the change that this project is going to bring. Okay, and the fifth one is to seek mentorship and feedback. Many grants, international grants, they offer that if you need technical expertise or you need some mentorship, you can hire them, or you can have that amount placed in your project for technical assistance. For example, WHO usually offer technical assistance as well. So, and feedback about the project can be in the form of dissemination of your result as well. Now, the key components of a grant proposal: executive summary or the abstract, then the statement of need or the problem statement, goals and objective, methodology and the work plan, budget and justification, evaluation plan, sustainability, and in appendices you have to put the CVs of PI, co-PI, letter, collaboration letters can be sought, and you can have letters from other consent letters from other PIs from other institutions, and institutional support letters are also required if multiple institutions are involved. So there is a proposal development framework, that is the acronym TYPOLIMER. Typo T stands for title, introduction, problem statement, objective, literature review, innovation, methodology, expected outcome, resources, and budget. So if you follow typo limer, then you can have a very clear write-up. So once there is a call for a project, you can just modify it according to the requirement of the funding agency, but the themes are the same. You have to write the title, you have to write the introduction, and other thing, the how what kind of title should be there. It should be catchy, specific, and relevant to the funding priority. So you need to look into the priorities of the funders, and the background need to be very clear, crisp, and the rationale should be just justifying why this research is needed and it is timely, and what new this research is going to showcase, and the context as well. If it's in Pakistan or any third world country or in a specific context, you need to explain that context as well. In that way, you highlight why a replication is needed, or why a new innovative, for example, behavior change communication or behavior change project is needed. Then comes the problem statement. You clearly define the gap or challenge being addressed, and that needs to be supported with literature in the literature review. And you have to prepare your SMART objectives. And they are specific, they should be specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time bound. So the literature review, it should highlight the gaps in the existing knowledge, and supporting your gap, the gap you are going to address in your problem statement. Innovation, what's new, why is it worth funding? So you have to specify it either in your rationale as well, and in your literature review as well. Is there enough evidence supporting your innovation or not? Then comes the methodology, the research design, the method, and the tools you are going to use, whether they are validated or self-constructed, and how you are going to validate them, what are the timelines or the Gantt chart. And in research design, usually funders, they like if it's a multi-mix method study, or multiple sources of data collection, or if there is triangulation in your study. And usually the interventional designs, they are preferred by funders. Expected outcomes, but in public health research, we are the prevalence studies, they are equally important as compared to the interventional designs. So in public health, we don't have that much concentration to be done on interventional designs only. Expected outcomes, what results are anticipated and how will they be used, that is very important. Then comes the resources and budget, the required budget, human resources, and justification of that budget. So now if you're looking from the funder's lens for evaluation, you can follow a butter framework that states that if I'm funder, I will look what benefit this project will bring to the public, community, science, or policy, and what is the urgency of such kind of project, why to fund this project, and the timeliness and relevance of the project. So I would try to find out the timeliness and relevance in your rationale, in your literature review, and in your summary as well. Trustworthiness, does the PI team have the capability and credibility to execute the project? So trustworthiness develops when we have one or more experts in our research team, so collaboration is better. Then return on investment, how much resources were given, or specifically the money, how much funding, and what is the value for money, and what impact that this project is going to create with this much cost, how much will be the output and the outcome. So we have online courses available for grant writing as well, and these, so here you can see the grant writing certification courses. There are many, like Udemy, like Skillshare, and usually the courses from universities, they are more credible, like from University of Georgia. So you can find out an appropriate course for you. Now looking for international grants in public health. So here you can find a list of funding agencies like Bill Gates Wellcome Trust, European Commission, Global Fund, Grand Challenges Canada, WHO, UNFPA, UNDP, even Asian Development Bank all also issue calls, and there is IDRC and UKRI. There these usually many calls are open in October, September, like Wellcome Trust was open in September. So you can see WHO, UEL, TDR, tropical disease research grants, they are available, and health system strengthening grants are available. Now coming to national grants in public health, there are HPCs offering many grants, then PHRC or PMRC and Pakistan Science Foundation, and there are many universities, ORIX, they offer grants for academic research, then Pakistan's Academy of Sciences, Ministry of Science and Technology, and NIH, that HRI, that is usually there are, this is the fifth round this year, 2025, and next year it will be the round six in 2026. So this is the grant which I will be sharing another video on how to fill the form for NIH HRI grant. So these are the grants which were open in this year in April, July, September, November. You can see Welcome Grant, they were open in September, and one grant of from Welcome Trust is available till November. And you can go for mental health grants as well. They are also part of public health. There are common reasons for rejection: vague objectives or poor problem articulation. That is one of the main reasons for rejection by the funder. Then unrealistic budget, weak methodology, lack of alignment with funders' priorities, incomplete or late submission. All these are the reasons. So if you look what expectation a funding agency has, that is alignment with their mission, significance and impact of your research, scientific or technical merit in your research, feasibility and capacity of your research, clear objectives, accountability, sustainability, budget justification, ethics and compliance, and dissemination plan, how you are going to disseminate your findings, either through seminars, symposium, paper presentation, or publishing the paper. Now the challenges. The challenges in there are two main categories of challenges in writing the proposal grant and then executing a grant. Because once you won a grant and you did not work for it in the execution phase, and in that way you are actually bringing bad name to the research team. So number one is the finding the right funder is very important. That is a big challenge. So the second challenge is the need assessment, the need statement, sorry. That is making a balance statement why you need funding for your research project. And the funders need to be convinced that problem is real, significant, and urgent. So you need to make your case, you need to present your case. So the third challenge is the project design and logic. If the logic has a flaw, the entire proposal falls apart. Next is budget. And if there is unrealistic budget or cost and ineligible cost, then the budget is usually rejected. And because of that, the project is rejected. So budget should fit the project description. Challenges: competition and grant fatigue, high rejection rates, even very good proposals, they get rejected. So writers can become discouraged after repeated rejections, leading to lower quality submission. Challenges: capacity and time. Grant writing is time consuming. Editing a quality proposal can take many hours. And there is usually staff constraint because you need to work in teams. And this creates a vicious cycle. You need capacity to get a grant, but you need a grant to build capacity. The last one is the complex guidelines and jargon, the page limits, font rules, and different navigating different terminologies like output versus outcome, logic model, theory of change, all lead to failure to follow instructions to the letter is the easiest way to get a proposal disqualified immediately. So you need to follow the instructions. Then there are after in the execution phase, there after getting the award of the grant, you have administrative burden, you have financial management issues like cash flow, budget rigidity, the tracking of how the money is going, and the staffing and capacity building. How the project management, you need a project manager actually to manage your field work and the entire project. And there is a field team as well, the monitoring team, supervisory team, and data collector team. So there are implementation hurdles as well, unforeseen delays, partner issues, scope creep, that is the project slowly expanding beyond its original plan, that is also straining the resources. And this is because if we do not cater each and every detail in the project description as well as in the budget allocation, then there comes the implementation hurdles. Then monitoring and evaluation, data collection need to be monitored, all the field work need to be monitored. So if we neglect making the description about monitoring and evaluation, or signing a team for monitoring and evaluation, then this can be an issue in project execution. We need budget for this activity as well. Then sustainability, the cliff effect. The project collapses when the grant ends because no long-term funding was secured and this funding was limited. So this is the cliff effect, that suddenly when the change is there, the budget or the funding ends, and then there is, if you have not planned for the sustainability of your project, then there is no ownership. Now, how to mitigate these challenges for writing: start early, build relationship with funders, use a proposal checklist, invest in professional development, and create templates. And for execution, we can plan during the proposal, invest in a project manager, use financial softwares, communicate proactively with the funder, and plan for sustainability from day one. So the conclusion is that grant writing is a critical skill for professionals and researchers. This empowers innovation, drives change, and builds capacity for lasting impact. Thank you very much.